Hello, welcome to my political life video blog, and we gotta get lots more stuff to cover. So you just had to trust me about that. So, anyways, here's your worst nightmare. Why is the mainstream media praising, you guessed it, celebrating Steve Bannon? You know, you know that guy. You know why? Because anyone's civilized about, you guessed it. And that, you guessed it, President Trump tried to remove Steve Bannon from the National Security Council, tried to promote a wild speculation and jubilation from this many in the mainstream media. Media. So last Sunday on the Lawrence Jones show, here's why. Here's why I want you to listen to this from Steve Jones. No, Lawrence Jones about this one. Listen to this from the Blaze Radio Network's own Lawrence Jones. So what you think about this?
53. Still looking for details about it, about this new thing with Steve Bannon. Apparently, the president has kicked him off the National Security Council. And and this is apparently new. And many of you may remember when this first happened, a lot of people were outraged because they said he doesn't have the experience to be on there. He's a political player. Sources are saying that the president put him in there to look after Flynn because he's the de facto chairman of the National Security Council, and now the president has full confidence in the general, who's his new national security advisor. Here's my problem with this, and I understand many of you guys is concerned about Steve Bannon, because of how vindictive he can be, and him being next to the president, and how he's targeted people in the past. Totally get it. Totally get it. I get your outrage. What I don't get is the media making this a story as if this is somehow something to be celebrated. I'm like, first of all, guys, he is the chief strategist and counselor and an equal to the chief of staff to the president. He was the CEO of the Trump campaign. He sees all the intelligence information that the president gets. He briefs the president. He has a high security clearance. He advises the president on pretty much everything. He's still going to get pretty much all the information that happens in the National Security Council briefings and meetings. Why are y'all celebrating again?
That's the question that Lawrence Jones says, that why is the mainstream media bias pressure people, buffoons, does trashing Steve Bannon on purpose, and these guys are celebrating. Well, guess what? Here's why. Because any sign of the trouble inside this White House, when the sources are frequently wrong, in addition to making inferences that makes no sense in this whole facts. I don't believe this. Just remember that yesterday on Tucker Carlson Tonight on the Fox News channel. Here's why. Piers Morgan. He's the editor at large at the Daily Mail and co-host of Good Morning Britain on ITV Network. And you know why? Because here's why. He ripped into shreds for the mainstream media by special people for inordinating attention it gives to all Islamist attacks. It gives a little to the bombing of these Coptic Christians in Egypt. Palm Sunday, last Sunday's Palm Sunday. So it can be unbelievably significant. And you know, he should, listen to this from Pierce Morgan. Listen to this from Pierce Morgan on Tucker Carlson tonight, last uh, Monday night on Fox News Channel. And here's why I don't even understand that the mainstream media try to celebrating, yeah, you guessed it. Yeah, Palm Sunday attacks, and so is Steve Bannon, as far as we're concerned. Oh God, God, listen to Tucker. What? Listen to Tucker Carlson explains this in his introduction. Clip it.
It's the largest Christian community in the Middle East and one of the oldest in the world. It predates Islam, of course, by hundreds of years. But that community is now under siege, truly. On Sunday, at least 44 people were killed in a pair of suicide bombings targeting Palm Sunday celebrations in churches. Got some footage of that attack, which is pretty awful. It was one of the latest of many attacks on the Egyptian minority, the Christian minority there. And yet the American press doesn't seem to care much about it, the obliteration of the Middle East's once large Christian population. The question is, why don't they care? We'll join now.
See, the question is, why does anybody killed? Because you know why? Because it does this in Sweden last week. What about London, Paris, San Bernardino, you name it. Because of ISIS. I just remember last Sunday on Sunday Night News. This is what happens to this mess. Because you know why? Because everything else can be civilized about. This ISIS bomber tried to blow himself into smithereens. It went off the deep end about this. Listen to this from Pierce Morgan. And here's the explanation about this whole subject ideas.
You sent out a tweet right after this saying, this will not get the attention of massacres in Europe, but it should. Why won't it, do you think?
I think, unfortunately, if it happens in the Middle East, this kind of atrocity, it just does not seem to attract the kind of media attention in America that it would if it happened, as we've seen in the attacks in Sweden the last few days, in London 2 weeks ago. I was there for that. Huge attention in the American media. In Paris, in Nice, these get huge attention. And yet what happened in Egypt was unbelievably significant. If you look at what ISIS really stands for, what they are carrying out now in the Middle East and in Egypt in particular is a kind of genocidal attack on Christians and Christianity. They want Christianity eradicated. And they want to convert all Muslims to their crusade. They want it to be a holy war. And they want Christians gone. And I don't think that narrative is getting the attention it should get in the American media, and I have to say in other media as well around the world.
Yes, that's right. Because you know why? Because that's why. Ask him. So, in other words, because everybody knows, because everybody knows that the narrative gets anybody's attention to get this American media. Because I hate to say this, but those no conventional liberal media by special people buffoons are up to no good. And then, last but certainly not least, Tucker says this to, you guessed it, Tucker Carlson, ask Pierce Morgan about this. Listen to this.
What's so strange is the West is primarily Christian, predominantly. I mean, that's what makes it the West. And yet there's this sense that it's somehow wrong to root for the home team. When something happens to Christians abroad, it's somehow, I don't know, impolite to mention it because it's self-interested. Have you noticed this?
Right. I mean, look, ISIS couldn't be more transparent. After the attack in St. Petersburg last week, they made it absolutely clear this is a war against the cross. They said that. That was what the statement said. They are at war in their heads with Christianity. Not just with Christianity, they're at war with all other religions as well. But they have been singling out in increasingly virulent terms that their real war now is against Christians and the cross. I'm a Catholic. The Pope Francis is due to go to Egypt in 2 weeks' time. I'm concerned about his safety. After what happened on Palm Sunday, I'm concerned about the Pope's safety. He would be a massive target, a massive prize for these Islamist terrorists. And they've made it very clear that he is the number one target for them in their battle against Christians. They attacked a church where the Coptic Pope was actually officiating. So they have made their intentions clear. Now, I think this is a huge story. This is the kind of story that ought to be dominating cable news in America. It should be dominating headlines around the world. The press in America should be full of headlines about this. This narrative, to me, is very straightforward. ISIS have declared war on Christianity. I'm not seeing that being covered enough.
No.
Now, now you see, Piers Morgan is right. Because this kind of story could be out dominating cable news like MSNBC, CNBC, CNN The Liberal, or all kinds of stuff. Then other major network news cover that stupid idiotic story. Same thing as Steve Bannon. Lawrence Jones is right, and so is Piers Morgan is right. Because like I said, many moons ago, this is fake news. This is gotta be fake news. And why? Because this is the horrifying major news story could be, trashing those, these two narratives. One is Steve Bannon, one is Palm Sunday attacks. And they're up to no good. Believe me, it does. And the moral of the story is that they don't even notice. They don't even notice. They don't even listen to a word I just said to, mainstream media. This is going to be your own agenda. This is for your own good. Get rid of this. Stop this mess once and for all, because you, mainstream liberal media bias pressure people buffoons, are just being fake again and again. So, pick somebody your own size and get out of here. Because the more you learn about real journalism, because like as Sean Hannity says, and I said, you liberal mainstream media bias pressure people buffoons, because you're just being fake at all, because journalism is dead. From now on. Get it? Journalism is DEAD. Dead. If you don't get it, you're too dumb to know it. Do you mainstream liberal media bias people buffoons? Shush. Piers Morgan and Lawrence Jones, thank you for stringing things out. Appreciate it. Because we as conservatives get trashed the mainstream liberal media bias pressure people buffoons. You're trouble now. For good. Shame on all of you. Okay, that's all for now. And like I said, we're not going to do my political life video blog tomorrow, and so is Friday, as far as we're concerned. Trust me. But I'll be back. For a little bit of special edition of my political life video blog. Saturday, not Sunday, Saturday. Okay, just about that. Anyways, that's my political life video blog, and I'm sticking to it. Good night.